Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cruise RX, your cruise prescription. One thing that has been coming up a lot in questions, whether it's on our site or on other YouTube videos, is how much does it cost to use a cell phone while at sea? How expensive can it be if you want to use your cell phone to stay in touch with everybody, whether they're back home or whether it's the group on the ship? So in this video, we're going to go ahead and jump into that and let you know what you can expect and how to avoid some incredibly high expenses. Let's get into it. Now, as always, please be sure to give us a thumbs up on this video, click the subscribe button and the notification button so you know every time that we post a video. Now, for this video, we looked at Verizon, we looked at AT&T, and we looked at Xfinity. And at the end of the day, they all three kind of do the same thing when it comes to international use of their cell phones. So if we don't cover your carrier here, more than likely they follow the same plan. But be sure to watch the video to the end for our step-by-step instructions on how to set up your phone for international use. Now, when you're on a ship, the easiest way to stay in touch with each other is simply using the ship's app. On our last cruise, we had a group and we were able to use the ship's app. We texted each other, so everybody knew we were able to get in touch with each other at a moment's notice. It was just on Wi-Fi. It was very simple to use. If you go to ports like St. Thomas or Puerto Rico, your phones are going to work the same as they do if you just went to another state because those are U.S. territories. It is important that while you are out and about cruising, we suggest keeping your cell phone on Wi-Fi only, so shut down the cellular portion of your phone. That will avoid any roaming charges. And be sure to contact your cell phone company in advance. So we're going to cover everything in this video, but before you leave on your cruise, give them a call. I think the list was 170 to 240 countries that were covered. So just make sure, call your cell phone company, let them know what countries you're going to, and that they will be part of that plan that they have, which we'll cover as we get into each carrier. And one other tip too, you can save a lot of money by just having one phone turned on. So if you're a family of four and you want to make sure just for emergencies that while you're out off the ship that people could reach you, we suggest just having one phone turned on, let everybody know back home which phone that would be, and then you'll be able to stay in touch that way as well and save money at the same time. But if you plan on going out on different excursions, you want to be able to text each other, then you can set up your phones on the individual data plans. So let's jump into the first one, Verizon. So Verizon had a few different options. Let's take a look at them. If you're going to Canada and Mexico, then the plan is $5 per day. If you're going to other countries, then it's $10 per day. And don't forget, make sure that you tell your carrier where you would be traveling so they can check against their list. When you're using these plans, you're going to use your phone just as you would at home. And you're only charged on days when you use the phone. So if you do sign up for the plan and you have a couple days at sea where you're not using it, you're not going to be charged for those days. They do have monthly plans. They have a $100 international monthly plan for trips that are 10 days or longer. They also have a $20 international plan for use on cruise ships, but because you can use Wi-Fi on cruise ships, that's really not necessary. If you choose no plan, you will pay per text and by megabit of data, and that's where you can get stung. Those expenses will ramp up quickly, far higher than you may think. So we recommend that you definitely, whatever you do, definitely choose a plan. So let's get into the next one, AT&T. So AT&T covered things kind of the same way as the other carriers, but they did have a unique twist, I thought. So let's take a look at their program. They cover 210 countries. So like I said before your trip, call AT&T, go through the countries you're going to visit. It is $10 per day. You're only charged for the days that you use the plan. Each additional line is $5 per day. if used on the same day. So if mom is the key phone, she uses her phone then that day, and one of the kids use their phone, the kids' line will only be charged $5. The maximum charge is for 10 days. So if you go on a 3-week trip, then you're only going to be charged for 10 days. The rest of the days, essentially kind of free. So pretty good program from AT&T. But let's take a look at the final carrier, Xfinity. So we actually use Xfinity as our cellular carrier, and we have a cruise coming up in just a few weeks. So I was really curious to see how they charge for their plans, because we just switched to Xfinity and haven't been on a cruise with this new carrier. Got to be honest, was a little disappointed. Let me tell you what I mean. So Xfinity does cover 170 countries, which is a lot, and probably countries that we'll visit. It's $5 per day in the U.S. and Canada, just like, the other carriers, and $10 per day in other countries. There was no mention of it being $5 for any other line. And then also, you're only charged on days the plan is used, but if the trip goes longer than 10 days, you're going to be charged for those days. I did not see any options like with the other carriers where the maximum charge was $100 or any other fixed plan. So our cruise coming up is just a week-long cruise, so no impact there. Now, I'm certainly not going to drop my carrier over this program, but it was something interesting to find out. Glad we did this video, glad we did the research. At least we know what to expect as we go into it. So here are the important things to remember before you take your cruise and how you're going to be impacted with your cell phone. First thing, decide what phones are going to be used. Are you going to activate just one line for emergencies, or are you going to activate every phone? Call your carrier and then let them know what countries you're going to make sure that those countries are covered. On the ship, when you're on the ship, make sure that you switch your phone to Wi-Fi only. And then when you're off the ship, use only the phone that you have set up for the cruise, or all the phones if they're all set up. If you follow those 4 steps, you won't get burned with a huge cell phone bill when you get back from your cruise. So we hope you got something out of this video. Again, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.